Hello, math magicians. These are your notes. Lesson 4.2. We are still solving systems of linear equations. Systems just mean you have two or more equations. Linear means that when you're graphing, you're going to have lines. Yesterday we solved by graphing, and we tried to find where the lines intersected. Today we're going to use a new method, and it's called the substitution method. Okay? Alright, so here are your steps that you're going to follow. Step number 1. You're going to solve one of the equations for either x or y. You get to choose. So you look at both equations and you decide what's easier. Should you solve for x or for y? And which equation would that be the easiest to do? Once you've done that, so you're either going to solve for x or for y. Once you've done that, your answer to step 1, your answer from step number 1 is going to be substituted into the other equation. And then you're going to solve. You'll end up figuring out the other variable. And then that answer from step 2 goes back into your original equation that you found in step 1. Okay, this sounds confusing. It's actually not that bad. So, first, you solve for either x or y in one of the equations. Then you're going to substitute that answer into the other equation and do some solving. You'll get an answer in step 2, and that gets substituted back into your equation that you first found in step 1. So it's called substitution because you do a lot of substituting. The advantage to this method is you will always be able to find the exact answer. Where in graphing, even though it's a great visual tool, you can't always tell exactly where the two lines intersect. So this method is more exact. Graphing is a better visual tool. Okay, you may need to pause this video to get all this written down. And once you have it written down, then you can restart the video, and I'm going to go through some examples. Alrighty, here's example 1. There are two equations, and they're both linear. One is in slope-intercept form, and one is in standard form. But since there are two equations, this is called a system. Now we could graph these to see where they intersect, but today we're going to try the substitution method. Alright, so step 1 tells you to solve for either x or for y. Well, that's easy in this problem because the first equation has already been solved for y. Right there. Y equals 3x minus 4. So since we know what y equals, that's step 1, solve for either x or y. Now we're going to take this. Step 2 says take this expression and substitute it into the other equation. Now this time we're going to substitute, since this is y equals, all of this is y, it's going to go into the other equation for y. Alright, so we're going to substitute it in. We're going to take this y out and substitute this entire expression right in there. Alright, I'm going to show that work over here. So we're going to have 5x minus 2y, 5x minus 2, but I'm not going to write y. I'm going to take the y right out, take y out, and put all of this in, because this equals, see, y equals, so all of this replaces the y. 3x minus 4. And then keep going, equals 10. Alright, so that's step 2. And now you keep going, you solve. So we have to finish step 2. We're going to have to distribute here. Alright, so we're going to have 5x minus 6x plus 8 equals 10. Keep going. You have a couple like terms. 5x minus 6x, negative 1x, plus 8 equals 10. Now we're going to get rid of this plus 8. We're going to subtract 8 from both sides. That'll give me negative 1x equals 2. And then last step, get rid of this negative 1. I'm going to divide both sides by negative 1. X equals negative 2. Alright, we found one of the solution, or half of the solution. X equals negative 2. So all of this is step 2. This is step 2. Step 3 tells me, once I have this value, now that I know what x is, I take that value and put it right back over here for x. Okay? So this x equals 2 goes right back here for x. But I don't have a ton of room for that, so I'm going to show it down here. So I have y equals 3x minus 4. I'm just rewriting this, y equals 3x minus 4. Now I'm going to take this x equals negative 2, and it's going to go right in for x. Okay? So y equals 3 times x, but now I know what x is. X equals negative 2 minus 4. So y equals negative 6 minus 4. So y equals negative 10. So my final solution, the solution is the point. And remember, points always come x first, then y. So x is negative 2, y is negative 10. Alright, so if you would take the time to graph this line and then graph this line, you would see they would intersect at this point. Alright, let's try another one. Alrighty, let's say you were selling some lemonade and you were selling it for $2 a cup, and you were also selling some orange juice for $3 a cup. And when you were all done, you sold a total of 100 cups for 240 bucks. Alright, we need a couple equations. Okay, let's start with, this seems to be the easiest. You sold a total of 100 cups. A total of 100 cups. So that information right there, I'm going to make into an equation. So that means I have lemonade plus orange juice, and altogether there are 100 cups. So X is going to stand for cups of lemonade. And Y is going to stand for cups of orange juice. Okay, so a total of 100 cups, then that's where I'm getting X plus Y total, means it adds up. If you total up everything you add is 100. Now let's deal with the money part. Okay, $2 a cup, $3 a cup for 240 bucks altogether. So $2 a cup for lemonade, so $2 times every cup. And then $3 a cup for orange juice, $3 times every cup. Now it's not going to equal 100 cups. This is the money value, and it's going to add up to 240 bucks. Alright, here we go. Let's use our substitution method. So substitution says solve for either x or y in either equation. I think I'm going to use this one first, and I'm going to solve for y, because I'm kind of used to solving for y, and it's going to be easy to solve for y. Easier than this one. I'd have to get rid of a 2x and a 3. Here all I have to get rid of is an x. So to get rid of that x, I would subtract x from both sides. Subtract x. So this one's going to turn into, I'm going to go over here, y equals, if I subtract x from both sides, it'd be 100 minus x. Okay, so now I know what y is. Y equals 100 minus x. Now I'm going to take this 100 minus x and substitute it back into the other equation. Okay, not back into itself, back into the other equation. So here I'll show the work over here. I'm going to have 2x plus 3 times y, but I'm going to take y out. This y comes out, and all of this takes the place of the y. So it'd be 100 minus x, and then keep going, equals 240. Now solve. You're going to have to distribute. So 2x plus 300 minus 3x equals 240. Add your like terms. 2x take away 3x, that's negative 1x, plus 300 equals 240. Now I'm going to subtract 300 from both sides. Negative 1x equals, negative 60? And then divide both sides by negative 1. X equals 60. Alright, so I know how many cups of lemonade. 60 cups of lemonade. Now I take that, x equals 60, and I go right back into this one. And I'll show the work over here. Y equals 100 minus x, but x, I know x is 60, so y has to equal 40. Alright? So now since this is a story problem, I don't think you'd make an ordered pair out of it. Maybe you would. If it's an ordered pair, it's going to be the point 60, 40, right? Because x comes before y. And if it's an answer to a story problem, then you would answer it with like a little sentence, and you'd say, let's see, I have room over here. You'd say I had to sell 60 cups of lemonade, and 40 cups of orange juice. Alright, so that'd be the answer if you were answering the story problem. Here'd be your point if you were graphing. Alright, I hope this is helpful. You can always re-watch the video or ask me questions. Good luck.